Okay, in this video, we want to know how do we find dy dx when you have one function divided by another function. And the formula is dy dx is equal to this function here, v, multiplied by the derivative of this function, du dx, because we're taking derivatives with respect to x, minus, now, this function times the derivative of this function, and everything is divided by v squared. So it seems like a rather cumbersome formula. And really, it's not as bad as what it looks. You just have to get used to it, working problems with it. And we have several prepared, so let's get right to it. Suppose we say that y is equal to 2x plus 5 divided by 3x minus 2. And we want to find what is dy dx. So let's see, that would be this function here times the derivative of this function. Then we subtract this function times the derivative of this one, then everything is divided by this expression squared. So I'm going to have this function here times the derivative of this function with respect to x. So that's just going to be 2. That's going to be 0. Here we have 2 times dx dx. dx divided by dx is just 1. So this is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So we have this 2 times dx dx, and we take this derivative. This is just 1, so we typically don't bother to write that down. Then we have minus this function times the derivative of this one, and that's just going to be 3. Then everything is divided by this expression here squared. Okay, and at this point the calculus is finished. Now let's see, we might have to do a little bit of algebra here. What do we have upstairs here? We have 6x minus 4. And let's see, from here it looks like we have minus 6x. And 5 times 3 is 15, minus 15 divided by 3x minus 2 squared. And looks like we'll have some cancellations. 6x minus 6x. Negative 4 minus 15, that's negative 4 plus negative 15. So that's minus 19 divided by 3x minus 2 squared. And that is our dy dx. So you see, it's not such a terrible thing. When you start working problems with the formula, you get pretty used to it. Let's see, we want to make one other comment though here. Suppose that we also wanted to find the second derivative. You know what dy dx is? The second derivative that is d dx of dy dx. We're taking the derivative of the derivative. That gives us the second derivative. In this case, that would be equal to d dx of minus 19 divided by 3x minus 2 squared. Okay, we could rewrite this. It would be minus 19 times 3x minus 2 to the minus 2 power. And we want to take the derivative of this. So we do as we've always been doing. It will be equal to minus 19. We bring this down times minus 2 times 3x minus 2 to the negative 2 minus 1. Or that would be negative 2 plus negative 1. That's negative 3 times the derivative of what's inside of here. And that would be 3. And that then is the second derivative, d dx of this is this, or that would equal plus 38 times 3, 76 plus 38, that would be 114 divided by 3x minus 2 cubed. That's plus 38 times 3 is 114. This is a minus, so you can put it in the denominator, and that is 3x minus 2 cubed, and that would be the second derivative. So, for this problem here, we found dy dx, that's this, and we also found the second derivative, that's this. So that wasn't too bad. Let's see if we have time to look at one more problem. Let's say that y equals 2x plus 1 divided by, say, x squared minus 1. And we have to find dy dx. So that will equal this times the derivative of this. So we have x squared minus 1 times the derivative of this, and that's just going to be 2, minus this one now, 2x plus 1, times the derivative of this, and that's going to be 2x. And all of this has to be divided by x squared minus 1 squared. Okay, we have just finished the calculus part of the problem. And we haven't made any mistakes. We're all set. Let's see, we can do maybe a little bit of algebra here. Here we have 2x squared minus 2. And let's see, here we have 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared, minus 4x squared. And here we have 2x minus 2x. Divided by x squared minus 1 quantity squared. So dy dx will equal 2x squared minus 4x squared, that's minus 2x squared, minus 2x minus 2. That minus that is minus 2x squared, and then we have minus 2x and minus 2 up here in the numerator. And down here we have x squared minus 1 squared. And if we want to, we could factor out a minus 2 out of the numerator up here, but that essentially, that right there is our answer. So as you can see, when you first look at this formula, it looks very cumbersome, but once you start using it in practice, it's not such a difficult thing to get used to. Anyway, we've got a couple more problems prepared, so come back, join us for another video, and we'll try to work some more problems where we have to use this quotient formula.